Okay, so when you do what I do for a hobby, you see movies that you really love and that really knock you out with just how good they are, and you see ones that you just really hate. You know, things that offend you to the very core of your being. And of course, you see the meh films kind of in between that, fall somewhere in between. But then you get one like this, which is such a combination of the two far ends of the spectrum that it is quite literally almost a mindfuck. Like, it's really hard to wrap your head around this film, to be moved and feel like the film is speaking to you, and at the same time be repulsed by it is a bizarre sensation. So we're gonna get real with this one, so bear with me. So let's talk about this. So if you haven't heard of it, so Brittany Runs a Marathon is one of these, get your groove back films, about Brittany, our title character, who is an overweight, upper 30s, snarky, kind of trying to be a little bit meaner Rebel Wilson type character, the overly sarcastic, the, doesn't take anything seriously kind of character. You know the archetype by now. You should be able to pick it out pretty easily. Who finally decides to kind of try to get her life together, and starts running, and and she meets other runners, and decides that she's going to run the New York Marathon. So there you go. I mean, it's pretty basic plot. Like I said, I'm going to get real here for a second. I say a lot of things on this show when I'm doing reviews, and a lot of times I'm joking. There's some truth to it, but a lot of times I exaggerate for kind of a joke. Like when I did the Welcome Back, or Where'd You Go, Bernadette review, and I did the whole thing about, she's a middle-aged woman and I'm a middle-aged man, a man who's talking to videos to hide his existential issues and all this crap. I'm not going to say that's a lie, but it's over-exaggerated for the moment, for the joke. But what I'm going to say here is honest. I'm going to be very honest here. I'm not making a joke. I'm not making just trying to set up a punchline here. I'm going to be honest. I'm fucking fat. I mean, I'm fat. I have weight issues, and I've had them for a while, and it's self-inflicted. I'm not blaming anything. I've had a terrible diet, and I've let myself go to such a point, but I'm fucking fat. Moreover, and without trying to make a pity party, or this isn't so much a review as it is a confession now. I don't like a lot of things about myself. I don't like a lot of aspects to my personality. I'm not going to get into detail on that, but here's the thing. I have been really trying these last couple years to change that. I've been working out the last 2 years. I've been really kind of doing some, self-reflection and trying to make corrections and adjustments to the things I don't like about myself. I'm really trying. And I don't bring this up as a pity party or anything like that. I bring it up because I think what this film does exceedingly well is paint a pretty accurate picture of just how hard that transition is, and what it feels like to try to make such huge life changes, physically and mentally. I think it really depicts the struggle of it, the pride you feel when you do make an accomplishment, and the kind of crushing defeat you feel when you backslide, or you hit a plateau where you just can't seem to lose any weight, and yet you're working your ass off. It depicts all that. Just it's spot on. It's like I'm watching it going, that's the shit I'm dealing with right now. That's the shit I'm trying to do. That feeling when you break down and you eat something that you shouldn't. The way you feel like even when you've lost weight, every picture of you still looks fat. It's like, again, there's just so many things this movie does and frames so accurately that it really did a lot of points just feel, I felt so in sync with this movie and was just like, wow, I get that. That the feeling that, I hate going, when I go to work out, I work out at the little workout center at my apartment. I hate going to the gym because all I think is that everyone's looking at that fat guy barely moving on the treadmill. And truth be told, they don't care one way or the other about me. No one's looking at me, but you just have that feeling, and it deals with stuff like that. So, and it deals with the trouble of trying to change your station in life and trying to change the things about yourself that you don't like. And it does a great job of saying, all the things you don't like about yourself, that's not because of your weight. Those are there whether you're thin or not. You need to work on that as well. It's not you lose your weight and everything is in your life is perfect. That's an aspect of it. You feel better, you feel more confident, you feel healthier, but it's not a cure-all. You have to put in the work in the other places, and I think the film does a really outstanding job with that. And like I said, there were times watching this film, I'm looking at it going, that's me. That's exactly what I go through. That's exactly the way I feel. So in that regard, it really paints a great picture and does give you that kind of endorphin. I don't know if endorphin rush is the right phrase, but that feeling of catharsis when she accomplishes her goal, spoiler alert, at the end, and you do feel that kind of twinge of, satisfaction, like you do at the end of Rocky, where he says, I don't want to, I know I can't beat Apollo Creed, but I just want to go the distance to prove I could. You feel that same kind of catharsis. Actually, you feel a twinge of catharsis, and I want to specify that. Only a twinge. And this is where we have to go in the other direction with this film. Why only the twinge? Because it's apples and oranges, but Rocky was a good character. He was a good person. He was someone you wanted to see succeed. The character of Brittany is not. The character of Brittany is one of the most repugnant, awful human beings that I have seen in a movie in some time. A self-centered, horrible human being who treats other people like shit. And yet we are supposed to sympathize with her. Now, I get that the point of the movie is, like I just said, that she has to learn the lessons of, losing the weight doesn't fix all your other problems. You still have to fix those. You have to put the effort into those other areas too. So I get that that's the lesson she's supposed to learn. So if she was just kind of a snarky, every fucking romantic comedy character, that's snarky, too smart for the room, or thinks she's too smart for the room, overly sarcastic, 30 slacker, which is, that big archetype that's such a lovable character these days, you could almost get behind it, but she is not. She is absolutely repugnant. The way she treats people, the way she talks to people, it's mind-blowing. And it's one of those films where she does this, and yet these people still want to hang around her. The main one is this woman who lives above her, whom she always calls Moneybag Martha, because she sees her on the street, and Brittany just assumes that her life is perfect and everything about her life is perfect, so she hates her and is just such a bitch to her. And if you've seen any kind of movie, you know where this is going. She's gonna learn that, of course, her life hasn't been perfect, and they have more in common, and all of this, and then they're gonna become best friends, right? You think that's where this is going. You'd be kind of right. Very early on in the movie, extremely early on. This conversation that they usually put at the end of the film, towards the climax, they put at the beginning, which was an interesting way to do it. I appreciate that they kind of went against the norm there, but they put the scene at the beginning where the character's actual name is Kate, not Martha Moneybags or whatever. Kate says, my life hasn't been easy. I was a heroin addict. I was in rehab for heroin. And you'd think that would make our hero be more sympathetic to this person and realize, oh, I've misjudged this person. Oh, maybe I should give her a chance. No, she's still fucking horrible to her. She still talks about her like, I don't know. It's like, my God. You're under no obligation to necessarily like the person. And again, Kate does nothing but support her. Does nothing but back her up. Does nothing but be there for her and give her support. It says, hey, come join my running club. And Brittany is still mind-numbingly cruel and mean to her. And not in a, again, overly sarcastic, snarky kind of way. I'm sorry, folks, Dr. House treated people with more respect than this character does. And that is supposed to be the character I'm supposed to sympathize with? That's the character I'm supposed to be rooting for? And they tried throughout the film to show, and I give the director a lot of credit, because, yeah, he had me there for a little while, because they try to make it okay by showing that this is her pushing people away, it's her defense mechanism, all of this type of stuff, and they do it with a lot of silent shots of her just kind of looking sad and looking at herself in the mirror and all of that. So I know what they were trying to do. I get the point. I get the, what the arc of the character is supposed to be, and I get what they were going for. But it didn't work. Because they didn't soften the character hardly at all. And again, you have no idea why Kate or anybody still wants to be around this person if she treats them like that. How can I root for a character like that? And what gets me again is that at no time does anybody just kind of say to her, hey, you need to stop talking to people like this. You need to stop talking to people like they don't matter. Sorry about that. Weird. You don't have, just because you're upset with your life, that doesn't give you the right to belittle other people. you don't want to be belittled. Then why are you doing it to other people? We get close. There's this character in the film that it's a weird family relationship. He's her sister's husband, but apparently he's also almost like her father because he helped raise her when her own dad died. It's kind of a weird I'm my old grandpa kind of thing. And he gives her, the Rocky speech there at the end, the go win one for the Gipper and all this. And he does it but this is after, at a birthday party, she totally drunkenly rips into a friend of his who's an overweight woman and is completely cruel. And when he goes to talk to her, it's we're going to talk. I'm sorry, if someone did that to a friend of mine, it wouldn't be a nice, calm conversation. Who the fuck do you think you are? I don't know. It's just, again, I get what they were going for. I understand the theory of what they wanted to do with the character, but they went too far. The character is just a hideous person with little to no redeeming values. And because of that, and because of just how ugly they made that character, all this good stuff they did over here of telling a really well-directed and well-acted story about someone trying to change their life, it almost totally negates it. Because you don't want this person. This movie would have been better, honestly, if it had no dialogue, if she never talked. That's actually a movie I would like to have seen of this. Oh no, Barnabas, he went flying. Trying to be a vampire and fly. Luckily we're at a stoplight, so I can try to rearrange him. Here we go, B. Anyway, this movie, and I thought this watching it, because the movie is very well directed. The director makes a lot of use out of silent moments and reaction shots, and I'm big on that. And I honestly thought, this movie would have been better if Brittany never spoke. If we never heard her talk, or she never had any big moments. It's and I don't say that about a lot of films. I'm always the one who's we need more character development. We need more time with the characters. I want to hear them have dialogue. And this is one I'm going to say, I wish there wasn't any. I wish that it was almost like a silent movie of just her, just a bunch of reaction shots. I think you could have done the whole movie that way, and it would have been more rewarding. So yeah, it's a bizarre feeling to be disgusted and inspired at the same time. It's very odd. So I don't know what else to say about this one. I think I've covered just about everything. I'll say that the other characters in this are all pretty good. Kate, is actually a lovely character. I wish the movie had more of her in it. They meet a guy in their running group who becomes their friend, and he was really good. The guy playing her brother-in-law / stepfather was really good. I didn't like the guy playing her boyfriend. The guy playing her boyfriend was just another fucking millennial slack ass whom we're supposed to find his shit charming, but it's not. So I didn't like him, but that's the character, not so much the actor. And, the actor playing Brittany, again, I think did a good job. But I this is one of those things where I don't know if anything I liked about it was the performance or the director. So let's bring this in for Lenny. So final grade for Brittany Runs a Marathon. I'm going with a flat C. Not a C+, not a C-. It's right there in the middle for me. Because the stuff that was, as I said, the stuff that was good, and it got to me. It really did. You know, it told the story and told it, like I say, I'm living it. So I can say it's accurate. But man, oh man, was this just the most awful of characters. What this movie would have been like if they had softened her a little bit, made her a little bit less of a bitch, then man, what that film might have been something really special. As it is, it's a slightly below average film. You know, I'm a sarcastic guy. I'm a cynic. But you know, I'm telling you folks, I'm so tired of these snarky, sarcastic characters. I'm so done with them. I'm so done with them being the modern day archetype. It's so tiring. You're not charming anymore. I don't think they ever were. Can we move on? Can we get back to when comedies or movies actually had likable protagonists? You know, it's okay for a character to be likable. You know, it's okay. Your film can still be funny. You can still be moving. Matter of fact, I might even venture to say it might be more so if I actually like the person. I mean, I'm just so tired of it. It's one of the reasons I hate comedies these days. Is that's all the comedies are, these snarky ass, you know, fuck ups, and it's just so fucking tiring. Sorry, got off on another rant there. We're done with this one. Let's wrap this one up. All right. So that's Brittany Runs the Marathon. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for serving as my therapist there for a bit at the beginning. Like I said, it wasn't so much a review as it was a confession. So sorry about that, but you know, sometimes you need context. All right, well, let's say goodnight here, and we have one other film I'm gonna try to see this weekend, so hopefully we'll get to that. And until next time, drive safe, and I will see you at the movies.